Not everybody's an expert in archery, and not everybody knows what to do the first time they buy a compound sight. One of our best-selling sights is this black gold ascent verdict. As you can see on our website, there's multiple ways that you can configure this. They're completely customizable. And what I want to show you is just a simple way to sight in a sight. We're not talking about any of the crazy leveling. That's all in another video. I'm just going to show you how to sight in a bow sight. It's that simple. And what we're going to do today is we're going to start right here about 5 yards away from the target. And that's just a safety thing for anybody that's a beginner. We want you to be able to hit your target. And what we're going to do is, I don't know if we can see that, Kate, the pins are a little bit inside that arrow. I'm right-handed, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by doing my left and right adjustments. And just to be safe that way, I'm going to move it to where I'm a right-handed archer, and I want that sight, the pins, to be a little bit to the left of my arrow. So earlier they were to the right. I'm going to move it a little bit and get it close to being a little bit to the left. On a left-handed archer, do the opposite, okay? So you're going to want your pins a little bit on the right side. So mine are slightly to the left. We're going to try to let you see that. We're filming this with an iPhone today, so nothing crazy. All I'm going to do right now is we are at 5 yards. Okay, you can stay there, and I'll just do this. What we have is got a horizontal and I've got a vertical tape. Right now I'm going to shoot just up and down, and we're just going to see if we can start getting into the tape, okay? And that'll tell us if we can go right or left with our sights. So let's just start there. And then I don't have a specific spot in that tape just yet. We'll get to there. So I'm going to start with my top pin. Well, that hit kind of dead center of that. And now, if it hit to the left, go ahead and come down here. We'll do this. This hit dead center. We'll back up and see if it changes at all. I moved that sight a lot for y'all. It's just kind of random that it did go right where it's supposed to. If your arrow hits to the right of where you're aiming, move your pins towards the arrow. So here's my pins. I'm going to move them slight adjustments over. And then I'm going to shoot again at the same distance, and we're going to see what that winds up doing. If your sight has been moved over, go back and shoot at 5 yards, and you should start to slowly see that arrow. Let's say it's hitting over here. Move your pins a little bit to the right and see if you can get it right there. And then you're going to move the pins to the right a little bit more and see if you get it right there. And then eventually dead center, which is just completely random that actually hit. But same thing, if we hit to the left, where do we move our pins? To the left. And it's on these sights, there's small little marks on that ascents. There's numbers, and so this one's right here at 9 3/4, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Now I'm going to shoot at this one, and let's see if we can move our sight up or down. So we know left and right we're good, but if we shoot to the right, pins to the right, we shoot to the left, pins to the left, small little bitty adjustments. So we're going to move back now and shoot the other one. If you want to know more about this setup, check out our other video where we're setting up the heavy arrow build. So with my up and down, I use, on this particular side, I'm going to move my gross adjustment with the knob all the way up, okay? And the only reason for that is so that we get the most adjustability on that side as possible. So I'm going to aim for that top tape. And again, we're only at 5 yards right now. So, as we look at this, my arrow shot low. But again, at 5 yards for safety, as you're setting up your first bow or whatever else, we shot low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the arrow. And we're assuming that as we go back to 20, this arrow is going to keep falling. So all we're going to do is move it a little bit, and then I'm going to back up to 15, check everything again. So I'm going down just a little bit. Sorry, and this is where this housing all has gross adjustments. There are options for micro adjust and click adjustments, and they're well worth the money. So just consider, that's one thing I would tell you to not save money on, is to get a good site that you can set up with micro adjust. Try to buy a good site to start off with, but then again, these are awesome sites. They just don't have micro adjust, so it takes you slightly more time to get them set up. We shot low, we move our pins where? Low. If we shot above, we'd move our housing up. Let's go back to 20 now, and let's see how we can get it sighted in at 20. I'm lying to you, we're going back to 15 yards. And we're going to shoot again and check the adjustments we just made. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and aim for the top one. We're just underneath the tape. And I'm going to shoot for now the vertical tape. And let's see if we got our left and right adjusted good enough. Sorry guys, my release is messing up a little bit. So left and right looks like as we're moving back, it needs to be adjusted just a little bit. So now I'm going to move back to 20 and we'll see how that works. Saw it shot slightly low. Sorry, yeah, we shot slightly low back at 15. So we know again that at 20 it's going to go even lower. So we do what? We follow our pin. So we're going to move our sight low, just a little bit low. Look, I go just a couple of marks. And left and right, as we went back, we moved just a smidge to the right. So I am going to go ahead and move the sight, just a smidge back to the right. And now that we're going back at 20, we're going to be safe to shoot at 20. We're hitting the target. And so we start at 5, then go back to 10 or 15 and make those small adjustments. But what I'm going to do now is put this itty bitty dot right here in the black. And then we'll start making our adjustments from there. At 10 and 15, we made slight adjustments to our sight. And as always, we follow our arrow with the pins. Right now, I'm doing gross adjustments with my housing, which means I'm moving the whole housing, not the individual pin. So I always like to group arrows. I shot slightly low and to the left. So I'll probably move my sight a little bit to the left this last time, okay? A little bit too far to the right this last time. So those arrows shot right on top of each other. So I'll know that I'm slightly to the left and slightly low. So I'm going to follow my arrows and go a little bit back to the left. So I went 2 hash marks and we're shooting slightly low. So I just hit a little bit low and a little bit left. And so what I did was I came in, I loosened, and I moved the sight over 1 hash mark, and I moved it down, I moved it to the left 1 hash mark. So, sorry everybody, I keep going in the wrong direction. I'm going to move to the left just a smidge from where we were. Again, 1 hash mark. And obviously if you're off by a lot, you're gonna move more than that. And also then we'll start looking into form and all that sort of thing. So we moved it down and moved it slightly to the left. We followed our arrow. Now we're gonna shoot another one. We should move a little bit closer. It's a slow process, don't rush yourself. If you're really new and you're shaking a lot, I recommend getting to where you can hit about a paper plate size and shoot that for, you know, a week straight. And if you come in our shop, we always say 5 shots a night for 5 days, and look at how much better you'll get. Just building up that endurance before you worry about anything too technical. Second. Well, I moved just a little bit too much, and that's part of it. Try that real quick. So we're still shooting slightly to the left. Make a small adjustment with either your pins or your whole housing. So now that one got our left and right perfect. We're still slightly low. I'm gonna make that adjustment. And I'm gonna go in and kind of walk you through what we did up there. So you see I'm not just pulling your leg. We shot slightly low. So move the housing just a little bit lower. And on this one, I'm having to use the Allen wrench. Obviously, with a micro adjust, you just kind of loosen with your hand, and then you can do your one-click adjustments and slowly bring it up. Shoot this arrow. Let's see where we go with it. I went a little bit high, but I'm getting kind of tired and moving a lot. But I'm just gonna come show you how we adjust it and what I'm aiming for, because our goal is to kind of keep it on a quarter-size target when we're sighting in. Again, if you start to move a lot, take a break. So that shot I followed through well. Let's go down range and see everybody. This is our last shot after all of our adjustments. We know we're still slightly to the left, because if you look, we're not dead center. We need to go slightly back to the left of the side a little bit. So these were our first 2 shots. They are left and low. So we moved our sight left and low. And then I moved it a little bit too much, and we stayed left and we went high. So our next movement was to move the sight up and still go a little bit more to the left, and that brought us here and here. Or sorry, here. And then our last shot with our last adjustments brought us right into the dot. I would still, after I've shot for a while and I'm not as shaky, our goal will be to bring it right into the center of the tape. If you're new to archery, again, take your time, 5 shots a night for 5 days, and try to shoot a paper plate size. What we look at is at 2 inches, a 2-inch group at 20 yards, a 3-inch group at 30, but ideally you want to keep those all much smaller. But some of you, it may take a little bit more time to get there. So that's how to sight in a bow sight.